Hi guys, what's up? It's your girl Charlotte from That Girl Cooks Healthy. Today I'm gonna show you how to make this delicious stewed goat meat using your slow cooker, a Caribbean inspired recipe that is relatively straightforward to make and really tasty. I cannot wait to show you guys how to make it, so let's get to it. Okay guys, so these are the ingredients that you need. First of all, you're going to need some goat meat. Please do not use beef for this because I've tried it and it doesn't work. So you do want to use some type of goat meat for this. I'm using boneless meat for this particular recipe, but you can also use goat meat that does contain the bones. It doesn't really matter, and it is a matter of your preference. I also have some carrots that I've sliced up. I like to use red grape juice because that is what I have in the house most, but you're more than welcome to use red wine if you want to. I have some lamb stock for this particular recipe because I feel it complements it more, but you're more than welcome to use mutton stock instead because I do have that on my website if you want to use that. You're also going to need some cinnamon sticks for this particular recipe. Please do not use ground cinnamon because the cinnamon is a star of the show. I have some beef seasoning. Technically, any red seasoning works for this particular recipe. Some onions, garlic, ginger, olive oil. I have some browning, tomato paste, small amount of tapioca starch, shadow benning, pink salt, nutmeg, black pepper, some green seasoning, bay leaves, cloves, and I also have some thyme tied together. So now I'm just going to use my hand to completely coat the goat, with that rhymes. So I'm going to coat the goat with all of the ingredients that I've just mentioned there, and once I do that, what I'm going to do then is I'm just going to take some wrap and I'm just going to wrap the bowl and I'm going to leave it to marinate overnight. So, or you can leave it for several hours, but I do like to leave it overnight. So you just want to wrap it up, leave it to marinate overnight. So now we're just going to heat up a large frying pan, or you can use a skillet. I'm just going to pour some olive oil into my frying pan, and once I pour the oil into the frying pan, I'm then going to add my goat meat to the frying pan, and what I need to do now is I need to sear the meat. It's very important that you sear the meat. It's going to take about say 15 minutes or so for the meat to sear. Remember, we're just searing the meat and it is going to be time consuming, and also during that process you're going to notice as well that the meat is going to give off its own juices, and what we want to do is we want to cook that off. So I'm going to show you first of all the first stages, should I say, of just searing the meat, and then I'm going to show you once the meat starts to bring off its own juices. So as you can see here now, the meat has started to give off its own juices. That is what it is going to look like. And what we want to do now is we want to cook off that. So what I tend to do now is I just increase the heat to high. So you just want to cook off all of the juices, but you want to be really careful that you don't burn the meat. So be careful when you do this, and you just want to do this until all of that liquid is locked in to the goat meat. So this is what the goat meat looks like now that I've cooked off all of those juices. And what we can do now, once we've cooked off all those juices, we can transfer our goat meat into our slow cooker. So now I'm just going to transfer our goat meat into my slow cooker, and once I've transferred my goat into the slow cooker, then I'm going to follow up by adding my cloves, bay leaves, thyme, cinnamon sticks, grape juice. Remember, you more than welcome to use red wine if you want to, and I'm also using lamb stock for this particular recipe, but mutton also works just as well. And then I'm going to add my tomato paste. When I add the tomato paste, you want to make sure that it's fully combined and it breaks down in with the liquids. So you just want to get a spoon, or in my case I'm just using my spatula just to give it a quick stir before I slow cook the recipe. So as you can see here, I'm just pretty much making sure that the tomato paste is fully incorporated with the liquid before I put the lid on the slow cooker. I'm not going to add my carrot just yet because I do like a slight crunch to it, but if you want to have really soft carrots, then you want to add them now. So it's very important that you keep that in mind when you're following the recipe. You can either add the carrots now, or you can add them halfway through like I'll be doing in the video. So once you put the lid on your slow cooker, you can either set it at high, which is what I've done, for 4 hours, or you can set it on a lower setting and you can cook it for 6 hours. It's whatever your preference is. As long as you're cooking the meat for 7 hours, the recipe will work just fine. So we're halfway through cooking our goat meat. I'm going to take the lid up and show you guys what it looks like. So it's nice and simmering away. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a slurry with the tapioca starch that I have. So a slurry is basically a thickening agent that you're going to use, along with what I decided to use is some of the gravy from the goat meat. So I'm just going to use just a few teaspoons or tablespoons that I need. I don't need too much, and I'm just going to mix that with the tapioca starch, and then I'm going to pour it back in, and that's going to thicken up the gravy nicely. And once I do that, then I'm going to add the carrots, because like I said, I like a little bit of crunch to mine. If you do not care for a crunch, then you need to have added it at the beginning. It's really important because you don't want to be disappointed with the texture. So please heed what I'm saying. So I'm just going to stir that in, and that's going to make sure that it's fully, or should I say, what I'm going to do then is I'm just going to just tuck in the carrot, and that's going to technically just create a stirring motion anyway for the slurry. And once I've done that, I'm just going to put the lid back on, and then I'm going to cook it for another 2 hours. Remember, if you're cooking it for a lot longer, you'll add this at the 3-hour mark, and then you would cook it for 6 hours instead if you plan to do that. So this is what our goat meat looks like after cooking it for 4 hours, and trust me, the house smells so nice right now. Don't forget to take out the cinnamon sticks, the cloves if you're able to get to them, and also the thyme stems as well. So that's how you make some stewed goat meat with its Caribbean inspired recipe. It's a bit different from making curry goat, so it's a great alternative if you want for those of you like goat meat but you don't want a curried recipe. It's a really delicious recipe and I would love you guys to try it. Please do not forget to like, comment and subscribe. It really would help me out, and it also keeps me motivated to make more recipes. So if you want more recipes from me, please support the channel. I really would appreciate that. So for now, I will catch you guys on the other side, and thank you for watching.